Welcome back, coin hunters. What if the ordinary-looking coins sitting in your pocket, your old collection, or even a forgotten jar at home could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, or in some extraordinary cases, enough to make you a millionaire?
What if I told you that a single penny, a coin so common you probably wouldn't even bend over to pick it up, could be worth more than a brand new luxury car? Sounds crazy, right? Today, we are diving deep into one of the most confusing, exciting, and potentially life-changing coins in American history, the 1941 penny. But hold on. Before you roll your eyes and click away, you need to hear me out. We're not just talking about any 1941 penny. We're talking about the specific one that sends shockwaves through the numismatic world. The one that has sold for $28,000 in perfect condition, and yes, the one that in rare error forms has been speculated to reach even higher heights. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for. By the end of this video, you are going to know the secrets that professional coin dealers use to spot these hidden gems in pocket change. You could be holding a fortune in your hand and not even know it. So, stay with me. This is a journey you don't want to miss. It all starts in 1941. The world was on the brink of war, and the United States was churning out pennies like crazy. Over 1 billion of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why you see so many of them today. Because of that massive number, most people assume they're worthless. A quick Google search might even tell you a circulated 1941 penny is only worth a few cents. And usually, that's true. But here is where it gets tricky. The value of this coin is all about a few tiny, almost invisible details. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And that secret lies in 3 places: the back of the coin, the date, and the color. Let's start with a common belief, the no mint mark. This is where most people mess up. The 1941 penny from Philadelphia has no mint mark under the date. It's just blank. Because over 887 million of them were made, a regular one isn't worth much, maybe 20 to 50 cents in average condition. But, if you find a no mint mark penny that looks like it was just minted yesterday, with a deep red, coppery shine, that changes everything. You could be looking at a penny worth up to a staggering $20,000. Yes, you heard that right. A no mint mark penny in superb gem red condition can be worth up to $20,000. Is your heart beating a little faster now? But wait, there's another twist. Let's talk about the San Francisco Mint. The 1941 S penny is considered one of the most sought after by collectors. It has a tiny S under the date. Even in lower uncirculated grades, these are worth good money. A high-grade, red, example can command as much as $27,500 at auction. Now, take a closer look at the word Liberty on your coin. If the letters look a little fat, or if you see an extra blob of metal, you might be dealing with the famous L on edge, or BIE, varieties. These are minor errors, but they are exciting to find. Or, what if the numbers in the date seem doubled? A 1941 double die obverse is a major error where the date and inscriptions show a ghostly doubling effect. These can sell for thousands of dollars in uncirculated condition. And finally, the color. Coins are graded as red, red-brown, or brown. Red is king. The more of the original copper luster that remains, the more valuable the coin. So, what's the verdict? Is your 1941 penny worth a fortune? Honestly? Probably not. If it's dull, worn, and scratched, it's just a cool piece of history worth a few cents. But don't walk away. Don't stop looking. The secret to finding one of these hidden treasure coins is understanding the difference between a worn pocket penny and a mint-state masterpiece. Most 1941 pennies are common, but the ones that survived in perfect condition, or with unique errors, are the true treasures. They are the ones that can bring life-changing money. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a 1941 penny? Go grab that jar of change or that box in the attic and give it a closer look. Check for that mint mark and inspect the color. If you've got one, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what you find. And hey, if you enjoyed unlocking this secret value, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We dig into hidden money secrets like this every week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Subscribe now, and we'll see you in the next video. What if I told you that the quarter sitting in your car's cup holder, the one you're about to spend on a soda, could actually be worth nearly $10,000? I'm serious. And I'm not talking about some ancient coin from the 1800s. I'm talking about a 1968 Washington quarter. A coin that looks just like any other pocket change, but hides a secret that could put a huge chunk of cash in your pocket. So, before you spend that quarter, you need to watch this video. Because today, we're uncovering the hidden value of the 1968 no-mint mark quarter, and why some of these coins are worth a small fortune. Let's dive in. Alright, so here's the thing about 1968. It was a wild time for the US Mint. For a few years, they were experimenting with new metals, taking mint marks off coins, and trying to figure out the whole clad composition thing. But if you look at a standard 1968 quarter, you'll probably find a tiny little letter on the front. If it has a D, it was minted in Denver. If it has an S, it came from San Francisco. But the coin we're talking about today has no letter. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. And that's where things get interesting. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 220 million of these coins back in 1968, that's a massive number. And because it was such a huge run, most of these quarters are worth exactly 25 cents. You can find them in circulation all the time. But wait. What if I told you there's a twist? A secret detail that separates the pocket change from the big money? The secret is all in the condition. You see, back in the late 1960s, quality control at the Philadelphia Mint wasn't exactly what it is today. Coins were banged around, stored in big bags, and generally treated like, well, regular coins. So, finding a 1968 quarter that survived the last 50+ years without getting scratched, dinged, or worn down to a smooth disc. That's actually incredibly rare. Collectors grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70. And for a 1968 quarter, hitting that high grade of MS-67? That's like finding a needle in a haystack. Only a few hundred are known to exist in that kind of condition. And when you find a 1968 quarter with no mint mark that looks like it just rolled off the press yesterday, with full, frosty luster and razor-sharp details, its value skyrockets. Now, most 1968 quarters in decent shape might sell for a few dollars. But the cream of the crop? The absolute best of the best. In 2013, a pristine 1968 no-mint mark quarter graded MS-68 sold for a jaw-dropping $9,400. That's right, $9,400 for a single quarter. But wait, there's more. I told you we were talking about $1 million coin, right? While the standard 1968 quarter is worth checking, there's an even rarer error coin that's the stuff of legends. Imagine a quarter that's been struck on the wrong metal. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint accidentally struck a small number of proof quarters on 90% silver planchets, the kind of silver blanks that were only supposed to be used before 1965. There's only one known example of this 1968's silver proof quarter in existence. It's a unique error, a one-of-a-kind mistake that's worth a fortune. It was certified by PCGS and sold to an error coin dealer. And while there isn't a specific public sale price, a coin this unique, the only one of its kind, could easily be valued in the six-figure range. This coin is a genuine treasure. So, here's what you need to do right now. Go check your change. Look at the front of every 1968 quarter you have. If there's no mint mark, don't just toss it back in the jar. Look at it closely. Examine the surface. Is it scratched? Or does it look brand new? Does it have that distinct, shiny luster that makes it look like it was minted yesterday? If it looks perfect, you might be holding a coin worth not hundreds, but thousands of dollars. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your pocket change? Drop a comment below and tell me your story, I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more secrets hiding in your spare change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because your pocket change might just be your ticket to a payday you never expected. Alright, listen up. What if I told you that the loose change sitting in your cup holder, that penny you've been ignoring, could be worth over 100 grand? I'm not talking about some rare gold coin from a shipwreck. I'm talking about a 1969 penny. But not just any penny. The one I'm talking about has a secret, a hidden mistake that the government tried to destroy. The 1969 D penny. Or is it? Because here's where it gets crazy. You see, there are two types of 1969 pennies, and only one of them is a ticket to a down payment on a house. And if you blink, you might just miss it and toss a fortune back into the wild. Now, to understand this little copper goldmine, you have to go back to 1969. The Denver Mint, that's what the D stands for, churned out over 4 billion of these Lincoln Memorial cents. That's a massive number. With that many coins out there, your odds of finding one in your pocket change today are actually pretty good. But here's the kicker. They made so many that a perfect one, I'm talking about one that's never been used, with that shiny, original red copper color, that's a different story. A 1969 D penny in top tier, gem condition, graded MS67 red, has sold for nearly $8,000. That's a nice chunk of change for a single penny. But hold on. That's not the $1 million story you clicked for, is it? We're just getting warmed up. Because while Denver was cranking out billions, the San Francisco Mint, the one with the S Mint mark, was making a few pennies that would become the stuff of legend. If you have a 1969 penny with an S under the date, that's your first clue that you might be holding a masterpiece. Now, here's the first big reveal. Look closely at the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." Does it look blurry? Does it look like someone double-stamped it by accident? If you see that extreme, unmistakable doubling, you might just have the 1969 South double die obverse center. And this isn't just a little error. This thing is so dramatic, so bold, that you don't even need a magnifying glass to see it. The letters look like they're casting a shadow. It's one of the most famous error coins in American history. Here's the wild part about this coin. In 1969, there were counterfeiters making fake double-die pennies, and the U.S. Secret Service was on the hunt. So when the real 1969's double-die pennies started showing up, the agents thought they were fake. Talk about terrible timing. They actually confiscated some of these genuine, super rare coins and ordered them to be destroyed. Can you believe that? The government accidentally made their own rare coins even rarer. It's estimated that fewer than 100 authentic examples were ever produced back in 1969. And today? Experts believe only around 30 to 50 are known to exist. That scarcity is what drives the price into the stratosphere. So, what's the $1 million question? What is this thing actually worth? Are you sitting down? At a major auction, a 1969's double-die penny in mint condition sold for a staggering $126,500. Yes, you heard that right. Over $126,000. For a single cent. Imagine finding that in a roll of pennies from the bank. Or worse, imagine using it to buy a pack of gum and getting it back as change. Now, that was the S Mint mark. But our title also said, 1969 D Abraham Lincoln 1C penny with mint mark coin worth $1 million. Was that just clickbait? Not exactly. While the S double die is a six-figure coin, the D mint mark penny has its own word errors that are worth checking out. There's the no FG error, where the initials of the designer, Frank Gasparo, are missing from the reverse of the coin. That error can be worth a couple $100. But that's not all. There are stories of 1969 pennies with the wrong metal, but those are exceptionally rare. Is there a $1 million version out there? In the world of coin collecting, values can change. But for now, the true jackpot that the government tried to hide is the one from San Francisco. So, here's what I want you to do right now. Grab that jar of pennies on your dresser. Flip through your change. Separate every 1969 penny you find. If it has a D, look for the missing FG on the back. If it's in pristine condition, it could be worth a nice chunk of money. But if it has an S, look very, very closely at the words. If Liberty looks blurry or doubled, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Protect it like the treasure it is. In a world where money gets thrown around every day, the best feeling is knowing what to look for. Go check your coins right now. You might be holding a hidden fortune and not even know it. If you love this deep dive into hidden money, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. We reveal the secrets of the money you're walking past every single day. See you in the next video. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket change that could actually buy you a house. Not just a down payment, the whole house. You've probably scrolled past those headlines, rare penny worth a fortune. And thought, yeah, right. But what if I told you there's a specific coin, a 1942 D wheat penny, that has sent the coin collecting world into an absolute frenzy? A coin so rare that finding one in your spare change is like winning the lottery, and experts are saying it could be worth $1 million. Don't click away. This isn't some internet myth. We are about to dive deep into the exact details you need to look for. Because you might be holding a fortune right now and not even know it. Let's talk about the 1942 D wheat penny. Now, the wheat part you probably know. Flip a penny from before 1959, and you'll see those two stalks of wheat on the back. That's a classic. But the D? That's the Denver Mint. And the year, 1942. That's the sweet spot. Why? Because the world was at war. Copper was becoming a critical war material, so the US Mint knew the penny's days with that beautiful, reddish bronze color were numbered. But what makes the 1942 D so special? Let's start with the surface. Most of the pennies you handle are dull, brown, and worn. But a true high-grade 1942 D is a thing of beauty. It has a vibrant, original copper red luster that absolutely pops. It's so rare to find one in this condition because they were used in daily commerce for decades. If you have one that is uncirculated, it means it was never released into the wild and spent its life protected in a collection. That's when the value starts to skyrocket. But the real magic, the million-dollar question, lies in the minting process. When they were making these pennies, things could go wrong. And when things go wrong at the mint, collectors pay big bucks for the mistakes. One of the most valuable errors to look for is on the mint mark itself. A regular 1942 D has a clear D under the date. But an error known as a repunched mint mark or RPM. That's pure gold. Imagine the mint employee punching that small D into the die, and it slips or they hit it again slightly off-center. This creates a D on top of another D. A ghost-like echo. It's subtle, but if you have a 1942 D/D RPM, specifically the FS504 variety, the value jumps massively. While a normal circulated 1942 D might be worth a couple of bucks, one of these repunched mint mark errors in top condition has sold for nearly $1,000, and its value is on a massive upward trend. But that's not even the big one. There's another error that happens during the strike. When the penny is being stamped, sometimes the metal doesn't flow into the die properly, or a die cracks, or even a piece of debris gets in the way. This can cause what's called a strike-through error. But the most valuable, the holy grail of errors for this coin, is something called a brockage. Picture this, a coin gets stuck to the die. The next blank planchet, that is, the blank piece of metal, gets smashed against the stuck coin instead of the die. The result? The design on one side is completely reversed and sunken in, like a mirror image. It looks like the coin was pressed into wet clay. A standard brockage error can be worth a couple $1,000. But a 40% off center mirror brockage on a 1942 penny? That can exceed $2,500. So, here we have this coin. A piece of American history from a time of global conflict. It has a fantastic backstory, a beautiful design, and minting errors that make it incredibly rare. Now, let's build the suspense. How much is the absolute best example worth? Take a deep breath. The highest recorded sale for a 1942 D wheat penny was for an absolutely perfect, flawless specimen in mint state 68 red. It sold for a jaw-dropping $12,650. That's one penny. Now, you might be thinking, $12,000 is a lot, but you promised me $1 million. And here's where the story takes its final twist. For the vast majority, a 1942 D wheat penny is worth between $4 and $25 if it's in good shape. The coins worth seven figures are the urban legends, the what-ifs of a different era. We're talking about a coin that never should have existed, a 1943 bronze penny, or a 1942 that was accidentally struck on a steel planchet meant for 1943. Because the mint was supposed to switch to steel in 1943, a few copper blanks got mixed in. Those are the $1 million treasures. But you still have a reason to check your pockets. First, look at the date. Does it say 1942? Second, look under the date for a small d. That's the Denver Mint. Third, and this is critical, examine the coin's condition. Is it unusually shiny and red, not brown? Fourth, grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the D. Do you see any extra etching, any doubling? It could be an RPM worth hundreds. Do you see any cracks, weird marks, or signs of damage that look unnatural? Look for any design elements that are pushed in instead of raised out. If you find a coin that checks one of these boxes, don't just spend it on a soda. You might be holding a piece of history worth a serious chunk of change. And if it doesn't, you've just learned something most people will never know about the hidden value in their own pocket change. Have you ever found an old penny that looked a little off to you? Drop a comment below and tell us what you found. And if you want to uncover more secrets hidden in plain sight, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You might be richer than you think. You have a penny in your pocket right now that could be worth $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a specific 1979 D Lincoln penny has sent collectors into a frenzy, and most people have no idea what to look for? You are about to learn the secret that could turn a single cent into a life-changing fortune. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you the tiny detail that separates a worthless penny from a potential $1 million payday. Because here's the truth, in 1979, the Denver Mint produced over 4 billion pennies. That's right, billion with a B. They are everywhere. You might have a jar full of them. You might have one in your cup holder right now. And the common wisdom is that they are just worth 1 cent. That would be a mistake. Today, we are playing a game of high-stakes treasure hunting. We are looking for a needle in a haystack the size of Texas. But unlike a regular needle, this one is made of pure copper and shiny red luster. Because even though they made over 4 billion of these, a perfect specimen that looks like it just rolled off the press is incredibly rare. In fact, if you find one that is bright, shiny, and red, what collectors call red or RD color, it can be worth a pretty penny, literally. We're talking about grades of MS65 or higher, which could be worth $50, or even thousands if it's absolutely flawless. But you are here for the $1 million secret. And that secret is a ghost. A phantom doubling that isn't really there. See, when you look at a 1979 D penny, you might see a D mint mark that looks a little thick, a little funky. And you might think, aha! A doubled die. If it looks doubled, it must be worth a fortune, right? Wrong. Most of that weird-looking D is just what we call machine doubling, or a broken punch mint mark. It looks like an error, but it adds no value. Collectors know the difference, and they don't want it. So why are we talking about it? Because of the other one. The impossible one. There is a legend in the coin world about a 1979 D penny with a true double die obverse. A real one. One that isn't machine doubling, but a true, dramatic doubling of the letters and the date that happened during the die-making process. If a genuine 1979 DDO exists in high grade, it could be worth a fortune. But here is the catch, nobody has really found one that checks all the boxes. It's the holy grail of modern pennies. And a recent verified sale of a super gem, high-grade 1979 DRD penny hit almost $4,000 at auction. Now, imagine if a true error like that surfaced. Imagine a coin with the perfect strike, the perfect red color, and a mint error that is actually valuable, unlike those fake ones. You can see why the price could skyrocket. So how do you find the needle? How do you find the unicorn? First, you need to look at the D mint mark. Is it truly doubled? Does it have crisp, clear edges? Second, you need to look at the bust of Lincoln. Do you see split serifs on the letters? But most importantly, you need to look at the color. A penny that has been sitting in a jar for 50 years is going to be brown. That's worth a penny. But a penny that is a brilliant, shining orange red is the jackpot. It shows it has never been touched, never circulated, and is in pristine condition. That's the coin you want. You have to hold it up to the light and look for that copper fire. Most people will see a brown penny and toss it back. But you are a hunter. You see, these pennies are made of 95% copper, so they weigh about 3.11 grams. If you find one that looks red, and you weigh it, and it feels solid, you might just be holding a 5-figure payday. The highest known grades, like a perfect MS-67, are where the money is. I told you about that sale for nearly $4,000. That was a base coin with no error, just brilliant color. Imagine if that coin had a real double die. The sky is the limit. So here is the call to action. Do not spend your 1979 D pennies. Take a look at them right now. Look at the color. Look at the D mint mark. Look for the sharpness of the steps on the Lincoln Memorial on the back. If it has those steps clear and defined, you are in the money. You are looking for a coin so rare that even professional dealers get excited. This is the thrill of the hunt. This is the hidden value that most people walk right past. If you have a penny jar, a shoebox, or a forgotten pocket, go check it. You could be holding a fortune and not even know it. And if you want to find more secrets hiding in plain sight, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are your guides to hidden money, and we will show you how to spot the value in the everyday. Imagine walking past a pile of cash on the sidewalk every single day. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what millions of Americans are doing without even knowing it. I'm talking about that loose change jingling in your pocket, the coins sitting in that old coffee can on your dresser, or the ones you almost threw in the Coinstar machine yesterday. What if I told you that a specific quarter, a 1995 D Washington quarter, could be sitting in your spare change right now, and it could be worth $1 million? Not $100, not 1,000, but potentially life-changing, retire early, buy a house money. You're not going to want to look away because we are about to break down the exact details of this hidden treasure, how to spot it, and why it's causing a frenzy in the coin collecting world. So, what makes this 1995 D quarter so special? It comes down to one thing: mistakes. In the world of coin collecting, the phrase, "mistakes are valuable," has never been more true. The US Mint produces billions of coins every year, and with that kind of volume, things sometimes go wrong. And when they go wrong, it can mean a massive payday for you. We're talking about major mint errors. We're talking about a coin that got struck on the wrong metal, a coin with a missing layer of metal, or a coin that took a second hit from the die when it wasn't supposed to. Let's start with the easiest to spot, the off-center strike. Imagine your quarter looking like the design was literally stamped off to the side. That's exactly what an off-center strike is. It happens when the metal blank isn't perfectly aligned with the press. One side of the coin is perfectly fine, but the other side is a smooth blank space where the design never got stamped. If you find one where you can still see the date and a good chunk of the design, you could be looking at a jackpot. These aren't just cool to look at, they're highly collectible and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, I want you to take a mental picture of your pocket change. Have you ever seen a quarter that looked a little off? Next up, the missing clad layer. This one is wild. Modern quarters are actually sandwiches. They have a copper core with a silvery outer layer of nickel and copper on both sides. That's why when you look at the edge of a normal quarter, you see that distinctive copper stripe. But sometimes, that outer layer just doesn't stick. It's missing completely. If you have a quarter that looks copper-colored, almost like a penny, on one side or even both sides, you've hit pay dirt. These error coins, especially from 1995, can be worth a ton of money. It's a visual error that's so obvious you can spot it from across the room. Now, let's get into the big leagues. The 1995 D double die. This is the holy grail we're talking about. In 1995, the Denver Mint made a huge mistake. The die used to stamp the coins was created with a slightly doubled image. If you look closely at a coin with a double die, the letters, "In God We Trust," and the D mint mark will look blurry or like they have a shadow. This doubling is so pronounced that you can see it with the naked eye. And here's the mind-blowing part, the 1995 D double die Lincoln cent is already known to be worth hundreds of dollars, and only a tiny number have ever been found. Now, take that concept and apply it to the Washington quarter. While this specific variety is heavily documented for the penny, if you find a quarter with similar dramatic doubling on a 1995 D, the scarcity could make it a six-figure or even $1 million coin. But wait, there's more. We have to talk about the weird ones. The ones that look so bizarre you'd think they're fake. One collector stumbled upon a 1995 quarter where George Washington looked like he had a massive, disfigured blob covering part of his face. At first, the internet was split. Was this a genuine mint error where metal had somehow bubbled up, or was it what they call post-mint damage? Experts often have to step in to determine if it's the result of a die cracking or a cud, where a piece of the die breaks off and creates a raised blob on the coin, or if some kid just melted his lunch money with a lighter. But if you have one and it's a genuine mint error, it's a certified treasure. So, how do you get in on this? You need to start looking. Grab that jar of change and look at every single 1995 D quarter you can find. Do you see any weird ghostly letters? Is the mint mark D blurry? Is the date stamped off center? Is there a strange copper or reddish color on the face of the coin? Or does the surface look rough or like it has a missing layer? If you check and find something strange, do not clean it. Do not try to scrub it. That will instantly destroy its value. Take a magnifying glass, take a picture, and bring it to a professional coin dealer or a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated. This is the ultimate treasure hunt, and the prize could be life-changing money. What's the craziest coin you've ever found in your spare change? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about how to turn pocket change into real cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big find. You know that feeling when you're walking down the street, and you almost step on a dirty old penny on the ground? You think, it's not worth my time, and you just keep walking. Well, what if I told you that skipping that penny could be the biggest financial mistake of your life? Because right now, there are pennies sitting in jars, under couch cushions, and in old shoeboxes that are worth more than most people's cars. I'm talking about a specific coin. The 1953 D wheat penny. And while most of them are only worth a couple of bucks, there's a specific version of this coin that has collectors writing checks for $1 million. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this penny worth life-changing money, how to spot it, and why the one you're looking at might be a hidden treasure. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to be digging through your change. Let's start with the basics. In 1953, the Denver Mint, which is what the D stands for, produced over 700 million of these pennies. Over 700 million. That means they are everywhere. In fact, that's why most of them are valued at market price, anywhere from $1 to $5 depending on the condition. That doesn't sound super exciting, right? But here is where things get wild. In the world of coin collecting, there's a word that changes everything. Error. Specifically, a double die error. This happens when the die, the thing that stamps the image onto the coin, is slightly misaligned and strikes the coin twice. So, you get this ghosting effect, like a double vision on the letters. Now, you might have heard of the 1955 double die Lincoln cent. That thing is legendary, and it's worth a fortune. But what most people don't realize is that the 1953 D has its own version. And the market for this specific error has seen a price surge of nearly 9,000% recently. I want you to picture this. You're going through your grandpa's old coin collection, or maybe you're sorting through a jar of pennies you've had since you were a kid. You find a 1953 D. You look at it, and you see it has that doubling on the Liberty or the date. You think, oh, cool, a little weird looking. You might even toss it back in the jar. But what if I told you that in the right grade, that weird-looking penny could be worth more than a brand new pickup truck? We're not talking about pocket change. We're talking about the kind of money that pays off your student loans, or puts a down payment on a house. Let's talk about the $1,000,000 claim. Is it actually possible? Well, we have to look at the condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. If you have a regular 1953D in mint state, 66, it can sell for $20 to $30. Not bad, right? But a mint state coin is one that is practically perfect. When you combine a pristine condition with this specific repunched mint mark error, we are entering five-figure territory. Imagine this. A coin dealer is looking at a collection. They see a 1953D penny that looks brand new. They flip it over, and they see a distinct doubling. They check the price guides, and they can't believe it. In the highest grades, these specific error coins have been listed for prices that reach the six-figure mark. And because they're so rare, these are the coins that passed quality control, avoided getting melted down, and remained in perfect shape for 70 years, the demand is sky high. There's a specific variety known as the RPM, or repunched mint mark. This is where the mint mark itself was stamped twice. These are extremely rare and highly sought after. We're talking about coins that can bring in $400 or more at major auctions, and that's just for the common errors. The $1,000,000 status comes from the idea of a truly unique, pristine example that hasn't been discovered yet. What makes a coin worth millions isn't just the error. It's the story. It's the idea that this coin slipped through the cracks. It's the journey from a mint in 1953, through the hands of millions of people, to sitting in your pocket right now. So here is your mission. Go check your change. Look specifically for a 1953D wheat penny. Look closely at the letters and the date. Do they look blurry? Do you see a double image? If you do not spend it. Do not clean it. Cleaning it will ruin the value. Put it in a safe place and get it authenticated. And here is a question for the comments: have you ever found a coin that looked a little off? Let me know down below, because you might be sitting on a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are uncovering hidden money secrets every single week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Have you ever held a quarter in your hand that was worth $1,000,000? I mean, seriously, what if I told you that the loose change in your pocket, that 1998 quarter you almost spent on a soda, could be a life-changing treasure? But here's the catch. You're not looking for just any quarter. You're looking for a ghost, a mistake, a coin that was never supposed to exist. We're talking about the 1998 P. Washington quarter, a coin that has collectors and treasure hunters literally losing sleep. And the craziest part? It's sitting right there in your old piggy bank, just waiting to be found. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be running to check your spare change, and I promise you won't look at a quarter the same way again. Most people see a quarter, they see a gumball, they see a parking meter. They see 25 cents. But you're about to see something else. You're about to see the subtle clues that separate a 25-cent piece from a ticket to a new house. The 1998 P quarter is the ultimate example of one man's trash is another man's fortune. Almost 900 million of these things were printed. That's right, 896 million coins were struck in Philadelphia in 1998. That makes it common as dirt, right? Actually, it makes it the perfect hunting ground for a needle in a haystack. And that needle is worth $1,000,000. So, what makes your quarter special? When you pull out that quarter, the first thing you're gonna do is look at the front, the heads side. You'll see the date, 1998, and you'll see that little P right next to George Washington's ponytail. That means it was made in a Philadelphia mint. Nothing too crazy yet. But this is where the plot thickens. You see, when the mint is churning out hundreds of millions of coins, things go wrong. The machines jam, the metal doesn't feed right, and sometimes, a coin gets struck twice, or it gets struck on the wrong metal. And that's where the $1,000,000 magic happens. The most valuable 1998 quarters aren't the ones in perfect condition. The most valuable ones are the ones that are completely messed up. We're talking about error coins. You might have heard about the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter with the extra leaf. That's nothing. We are talking about 1998 P errors that have sold for thousands, and in some cases, the potential for hundreds of thousands. For example, imagine a quarter that was double struck, meaning the die came down on it twice, creating a ghostly, overlapping image. There is a known 1998 P quarter that is double struck with a stretch strike. The planchet, that's the blank metal disc, was struck once, didn't eject, and then got hit again while another planchet was fed into the press. The resulting coin is a mind-bending mess of overlapping designs, an absolute freak of nature that collectors go insane for. But hold on, because it gets even crazier. We're talking about quarters struck on the wrong planchet. Picture this, you're looking at a quarter, but it feels weird. It's lighter, maybe the edges look different. That's because it might have been struck on a nickel planchet. A quarter, on a nickel blank. Because the metal is thinner and a different color, the strike looks weak, and the coin weighs less. Those are massively rare and worth a huge premium. We are talking about a mistake that the government never intended to release. Now, I want you to imagine the feeling. You're at a gas station, you pay with a $10 bill, and the cashier hands you your change. You dump it in your pocket. Later, you flip through the coins, and you see it. A weird-looking quarter. The P looks funny. The edge is off. You type it into Google, and your heart stops. That is the feeling of discovery, and that's what we're chasing here. So, how much are we actually talking? Let's cut to the chase. A high-grade, pristine 1998 P quarter, the kind that has never seen the light of day, can sell for about $375. But that's just the baseline for a perfect regular coin. The real money is in the weirdos. An MS-66 1998 P quarter sold for $1,440. But again, that's just for a perfect normal coin. When you factor in errors, the sky's the limit. We aren't just talking about a few $100. We are talking about coins that have the potential to hit the millions. Why? Because the ones we are talking about are unicorns. If you have a 1998 P quarter that is the wrong planchet, or has a significant, dramatic double strike, you are looking at a 5-figure payday, and if the condition is right, we are pushing into 6 figures. There's a reason why error coins are the absolute top tier of the collecting world. Alright, so here's where you come in. I want you to do something right now. Get up. Go to your car, look in the cup holder. Go to your dresser and look in that old jar of change. Check your wallet, check your couch cushions. Look at every single 1998 P quarter you can find. But here's the secret, and this is crucial, you aren't just looking for the date. You are looking for the mistakes. Take a magnifying glass, or even just use the zoom on your phone camera. Examine the letters. Do they look doubled? Look at the rim. Is it thick on one side and thin on the other? Does the coin feel too light? Too heavy? That is the $1,000,000 question. And don't just look at the front. Look at the back. Look at the eagle's wing. Is there a weird smudge? Is there an extra letter? You're looking for things that don't belong. And here is a pro tip, look at the United States of America. Is it shifted? Is it blurry? That's called a double die, and it is the sign of a massive payday. There is also a specific variety that I want you to pay attention to. I'm talking about the possibility of an S mint mark appearing where it shouldn't. Normally, a 1998 P is made in Philly, that's the P. But some collectors believe there are transitional errors or striking anomalies that create a weird S shape in the design, usually on the obverse or reverse. If you see a phantom S on a coin that's supposed to have a P, that is a coin that is going to blow up the internet. Now, it's very likely that this is just a pareidolia situation where your eyes are playing tricks on you, or it's just damage. But if it's real, you better believe you've hit the jackpot. This is the part of the video where I tell you that if you find something, do not clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. Do not polish it, don't use soap, don't scrub it. If you do, you will turn $1 million coin into a $1 coin. Collectors want the original patina, the grime, the metal exactly as it came out of the mint. Let the experts handle that. You're probably thinking, okay, I found one with a weird marking, what do I do? First, take a ton of high-definition photos. Second, head over to a coin collector forum or reach out to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate it and tell you the true value. Don't sell it on a whim, don't take it to a pawn shop, do your research, or you will get ripped off. This is the reality of the coin world. There are fortunes hiding in plain sight, and the 1998 P quarter is one of the prime examples. It's the ultimate modern-day treasure hunt. So, are you ready to start digging? If you're still watching, you're my kind of person. You're a dreamer, a searcher, a treasure hunter. If you love the idea of finding hidden value in everyday things, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have so many more secrets to uncover, and I don't want you to miss a single one. We talk about coins worth millions, rare bills, and hidden treasures you can find at garage sales. Trust me, you're going to want to be here for the next one. So go on, go check that change, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy hunting! What if I told you that a single penny in your pocket right now, a 1998 penny, could be worth $1 million? That's right, not just $100, but enough to buy a house, a fancy car, or even pay off your student loans. But here's the kicker, you've probably already spent it, not knowing it's a modern-day treasure. A coin so rare that finding one is like winning the lottery. Now, before you go checking every single penny in your piggy bank, you need to know the secret. Because, honestly, most of the billions of pennies the US Mint cranked out back in 1998 are only worth 1 cent. Yeah, there were over 5 billion made at the Philadelphia Mint alone, and over 5 billion more in Denver. That's a lot of pennies. So what makes the $1 million one different? What if I told you it has nothing to do with a missing L or a weird spot, but a single, tiny detail that is almost invisible to the naked eye? Alright, here's the mystery. Think about this for a second. In 1998, the US Mint was churning out pennies for you and me to use at the grocery store. But they were also making special, shiny collector's pennies in San Francisco, the ones that come in those nice plastic cases. These two types of pennies look almost identical, but there's one crucial difference on the back, the spacing between the A and the M in America. You see, the regular pennies, the ones you spend every day, have a close AM. The A and the M are so close together, they're practically touching at the bottom. It looks normal, like how you'd write it. But on those special proof pennies, they used a different design called wide AM. There's a noticeable, clear gap between the A and the M, making them look more spaced out. That's the secret. But here's where it gets wild. What if I told you the people at the Mint goofed? Imagine this, you're a die maker in 1998, just trying to get through your shift. You're responsible for making the design for the new batch of pennies. But you accidentally mix up the dies. Instead of using the standard, close AM, die for regular pocket change, you grab the one marked, wide AM, the one that's supposed to be for the collector's coins. And you stamp a bunch of pennies with it. Those pennies get put into mint-sealed bags and shipped to banks all over the country. This wasn't just a one-off mistake, it happened with multiple dies, creating thousands of these rare error coins that were released straight into circulation. Now, hold on. Why didn't someone catch this? Because it's so subtle. The only way you can tell is by taking a magnifying glass and looking really, really closely at the back of your 1998 penny. And for years, people just didn't notice. They were spending them like normal. If you had one of these pennies in your pocket back in 1998, you would have spent it on a gumball without a second thought. So, we have a crazy, secret penny hidden in plain sight. But how much is it actually worth? We need to build the suspense. It's a coin that was made by accident, a genuine mint error. And collectors pay big for mistakes like this. It's a known variety, listed as the 1998 White AM penny. It's so rare that finding one in good condition, with its original luster, is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most of the ones that have been found are a bit worn, kind of dingy. And while a worn one can still be worth a little, it's not the life-changing money you're thinking of. But what if you found one that was pristine? One that went straight from the mint, into a roll, and sat untouched for years? That's where the numbers start getting crazy. Do you want to know what that coin is worth? Are you ready for this? In 2014, a 1998 White AM penny graded MS67 red, meaning it was in near perfect, flawless condition, sold for almost $1,000. Actually, it sold for $940. $1,000. That's a 100,000% return on your investment. But wait, it gets even better. That's just the regular error. There's an even rarer, more valuable mistake out there. There is a 1998 S-proof penny. Remember, these are the ones from San Francisco that were supposed to be the shiny collector's coins. They are supposed to have the white AM. But some of them accidentally got the close AM die, the exact opposite error. It's the reverse scenario, and it's even rarer. I'm talking an estimated fewer than 100 known to exist. That's insane. These are so rare, they sell for thousands of dollars. A perfect one, graded PR70 with a deep cameo finish, sold for a whopping $4,500. It's not $1 million, but it's a life-changing amount of money for a single penny. So, here's the question, are you going to check your couch cushions? Are you going to go through your change jar? Because the odds of finding one of these $1,000 pennies are definitely higher than winning the lottery. And let me tell you a little secret, people have found them. They find them in bank rolls all the time. You just have to know what you're looking for. Here is exactly how you do it. Grab a 1998 penny, and look at the reverse, the tail side. Use a magnifying glass or your phone's camera to zoom in on the word America. Now, look at the space between the A and the M. On the valuable, white AM error, there is a distinct gap. On a normal penny, the A and M are practically touching. That's the one you want. You're looking for that clear, noticeable space. And if you have one that looks perfect, if it has that shiny, original, red color to it, you might not be a millionaire, but you might just have a ticket for a very nice, unexpected payday. So, what's the lesson here? It's to look closer. There's hidden value all around you. That coin you're about to toss into a parking meter, that old jar of change in your closet, it could be hiding a small fortune. Don't let a lack of knowledge cost you money. Now, if you've got one of these pennies, or if you think you found one, be sure to get it authenticated by a professional grading service. It could be the difference between $1 and $1,000. If you found this video interesting and you want to learn more secrets about the money hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next hidden treasure. You know that feeling when you're emptying your pockets at the end of the day, and you toss a few coins into a jar without a second thought? Yeah, we all do it. But what if I told you that simple, mindless habit could be the reason you are throwing away $1 million? Stay with me. Now, I'm talking about a specific coin. The year is 2016. You're looking for a quarter with a P mint mark right next to George Washington's ponytail. And here's the kicker, it needs to be a specific design that most people have never even heard of. We are talking about the 2016 P. Harper's Ferry quarter. Now, if you don't have a Harper's Ferry quarter in your hand right now, don't worry. I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, because this specific quarter is a legend in the coin world. But there is a twist. A shocking secret hiding in plain sight that has made a few very lucky people seriously rich. Let's rewind to 2016. The US Mint was cranking out America the beautiful quarters like crazy. These coins celebrated national parks and historical sites. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 434 million of these quarters for various designs. I know, that sounds like a lot, right? You'd think they'd be worth nothing. And most of them are. Seriously, look in your pocket right now, and you'll probably find a 2016 quarter worth exactly 25 cents. But there is one exception. One tiny, beautiful mistake. You see, when the mint is rushing to make billions of coins, things go wrong. Sometimes the metal doesn't bond right. Sometimes the dies used to stamp the coins break. And sometimes, they use the wrong planchet. But just finding a Harper's Ferry quarter isn't enough. You need to look closer. Have you ever seen a quarter that looked a little off? Maybe the color was weird, or the edge was strange. That's the gold mine. Here is where it gets exciting. There is a specific error that makes the 2016 P. Harper's Ferry quarter worth a small fortune. I'm talking about a missing clad layer error. Think about a normal quarter. It has a copper core sandwiched between two layers of a nickel-copper alloy. That's why the edge looks coppery. But sometimes, the mint messes up, and that outer layer is just gone. And this is exactly what happened to a batch of 2016 P. Harper's Ferry quarters. Because a quarter missing its outer layer weighs slightly less, it's not quite the standard 5.67 grams. So if you put it on a scale, it'll be off by a fraction of a gram. And when you look at it, it won't look silver. It will look copper-colored on one side, like a shiny penny, but with George Washington's face on it. Now, a regular quarter missing its clad layer? That can be worth $100 or so. But a 2016 P. Harper's Ferry with this specific error? We are talking about a completely different ballgame. Coin experts have been going crazy over these. The combination of the specific design and this dramatic error is incredibly rare. While there aren't exact sales figures for this specific combo published everywhere, the value of major error coins from this era has skyrocketed. We've seen missing clad layer errors on other quarters sell for thousands of dollars. And when you combine that rarity with a key date like the 2016 P. Harper's Ferry, it's a recipe for a life-changing payday. Are you catching this? You are literally sitting on a lottery ticket and you don't even know it. That trip to the grocery store where you got that quarter back in change, that could be the moment your life changed, and you walked away without even knowing it. So, here's your mission. I want you to pause this video right now. Go to your coin jar. Look under your couch cushions. Check your car's cup holder. Look for any 2016 P quarter that looks a little different. Hold it up to the light. If it's missing that silver look and looks more like a copper penny on one side, you have found a treasure. Don't spend it. Don't clean it. Just hold on to it and get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Imagine explaining to your friends that you paid for your morning coffee with a $100,000 coin. Or worse, that you had a $100,000 coin and spent it on a pack of gum. Don't let that be you. Go check right now. Seriously. Pause this video and go look. Did you find anything? Have you ever seen a weird-looking quarter? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know if you've hit the jackpot. If you liked this video and you want to learn more secrets about how to find hidden money in your pocket change, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss the next video. I'm going to be revealing a penny worth over $1 million, and I promise you won't believe it until you see it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Get out there and find those treasures. I'll see you in the next one.